In our first time of meeting together, we're going to be talking about those who come to Christ Church. And we're going to be talking about the motivation as to why they come, not specifically to Christ Church, though we will discuss that. But more than that, why do they come to church to look for that thing that they need? Everybody has wants, desires, aspirations in life. And we know that, for instance, church can't solve all of those. Some people want more money, and coming to church is not going to help them get a better job, or at least at Christ Church, isn't going to help them get a better job and make more money. But maybe they're coming with relational issues with their spouse or their children. We can help with that. Maybe they're coming because their life feels empty and they don't know what's missing, but they know something is, and they believe that a relationship with God or that church in general is the best place to point to them. Maybe they just come because they want something bigger. There are a couple things about most people that we know. For instance, we all have a desire to be generous, right? We all have a desire to want to help our fellow man. And maybe they come to Christ Church specifically because they know that we're involved in our community. And this is a good place where they could get involved and they could begin to make a difference to people around. And those who have that as a primary motivation would certainly find those opportunities here at Christ Church. Maybe they just want meaning in their life. And they recognize that life is empty but that there's something in us that wants to feel significant. I'll read you a quote from Viktor Frankl, right? And so he lived at the time during he and Sigmund Freud were the two that were discussing the philosophy of man. And Sigmund Freud said that the chief desire of man is in pleasure. Viktor Frankl said no, the chief desire in man is meaning. And in a book called Man's Search for Meaning, he argued convincingly that man was actually most tempted to distract himself with pleasure when his life was without meaning. And that meaning was that thing that we looked for more than anything else. Well, we certainly believe that the life of what God's doing through Jesus Christ, and as He calls us to be people who make disciples, I don't know of any other place where you can find significance and meaning in church. Or at least through the gospel as it's played out in a church setting. So, in this first session, we're going to ask you to help us to determine who is coming to Christ Church and what do those people want most out of life that Christianity can provide, that Christ Church in the context of Christianity can help them find. So if you would just be thinking about that, who's coming and what do they want most that Christianity can answer and that Christ Church can be a conduit to help point them to Jesus Christ through the gospel story. So who's coming? What do they want most that we can answer, right? And I put that caveat on it because if the people that you know that live in Irving, if what they really want is a better job, or they want, if a lot of people are illegal immigrants and what they want is immigration status, well, Christ Church can't help that, right? So we're going to set those aside. We're going to talk about those things that Christianity can begin to answer in the basic desires of people's hearts. All right, that's going to be the first meeting. Look forward to hearing your input.